I think we need to sit down and discuss the current economic state.
But now, Mr. Krabs.
Where's our paycheck?
It's SpongeBob. You think I pay you to stand around there?
I feel like Bikini Bottom doesn't have labor laws, TBH. Well, no, we'd have to assume that there are labor laws to a certain extent, right? Because very clearly there are traffic laws, no? If Bikini Bottom has enough laws to have a boating school, correct? Right? So there has to be some form of like traffic law there. Therefore, there has to be some form of standing government that establishes some form of law. So I'd imagine there technically is labor laws, but keep in mind, Mr. Krabs has been subverting that for the longest time. But they're a monarchy though? That is true, because King Neptune, while it is a monarch, yes, but also Bikini Bottom still functions as its own governing body, no? Because King Neptune kind of just shows the fuck up whenever. Is he a legitimate king though? Technically, yes. Do you guys remember that one episode where SpongeBob has to like do like a Krabby Patty cook-off against King Neptune or some shit? So he does exist. He does exist, and he does have technically a overwhelming like a power, like magic power, so to speak. Do you think there's a constitutional monarchy? I wouldn't say so necessarily, because keep in mind, King Neptune does not have a council by any means. King Neptune still rules over as a form of absolute, but his daughter still exists. So I don't know. I feel like Squidward would refuse to not get paid though. That's the thing. I feel like Squidward does get paid. He would be on strike like he did in that one episode, no? I feel like he would be striking. If anything, he would be suing Mr. Krabs for all that he is, under the fact that Mr. Krabs would be subverting labor laws. How would bills work if SpongeBob and Squidward don't get paid? I think Squidward gets paid. I don't think SpongeBob gets paid. So you feel like SpongeBob being a dumbass is being... No, I don't think he's being conned necessarily. I think SpongeBob simply just doesn't get paid because I think Mr. Krabs knows that this motherfucker is just cooking Krabby Patty for the love of the game. I think he genuinely just enjoys cooking. I think SpongeBob just enjoys life. I think he just exists in a way that he simply just is going to be cooking for the love of the game. How the fuck does SpongeBob provide for Gary and himself? Does he own his house? Is he paying a mortgage? Good question. I think SpongeBob is a Nepo baby. I'm a firm believer that SpongeBob was able to was funded by his parents and bought a house with his parents' money. He gets money from his grandma. That's what I'm fucking saying. We never truly know what his SpongeBob's parents, their jobs would be. Who knows? Maybe they might be within the real estate market, and if anything, they might have previously purchased the pineapple property and simply passed it on to SpongeBob. Damn, SpongeBob isn't a working class man, but a fucking trust fund baby. Insane shit. No. I would not say trust fund baby necessarily, because keep in mind, during the one episode where he goes fucking insane, the only friends that he had was a potato chip, a penny, and a tissue. So you can imagine. So that suffice to say, post like season 2, I think. I don't remember exactly which episode that was, but he technically did rebuild his house from the ground up. So he may have been Nepoed in originally through his family's real estate business, which not confirmed, but he did rebuild that house. Doesn't it fall from above? I don't remember exactly. That makes me wonder about his car license episode. So does he own the land though? No. If he owned the land, then technically he would be the landlord. He would technically be charging Squidward rent. You know what I mean? He would be charging Patrick rent. If he technically had like land permits and was able to build on his said land, therefore I believe that it would extend like, unless there are zoning laws, Bikini Bottom zoning laws, but very clearly with how buildings are built and structured, I do not think that is the case. Speaking of which, have we ever considered that Mr. Krabs, with the amount of money that he makes from Krabby Patties, could potentially have bought out the Chum Bucket? Perhaps there is the potential that Mr. Krabs has the potential to make enough money to completely have a monopoly on the fast food business of Bikini Bottom. Nah, why did Twin put a house in the industrial district? Does that mean to say that there are what the fuck is it? Not antitrust. Like there are competition laws also set in Bikini Bottom. Have we ever considered that the existence of the chum bucket simply just gives more rise to competition between the fast food industry? Therefore, the Krusty Krab success hinges on the fact that their competitor is so dog shit such that it drives business, suggesting Patrick as royalty. Did we also consider the fact that with the recent season of SpongeBob, it has been revealed that Patrick has been living rent-free because Patrick wasn't living under a rock. That was just some fucking guy, aka a sea turtle, who just happened to be taking a nap. Can it even be considered a competitor though if no one goes to it? Technically yes, because otherwise who would you be comparing it to, or who is necessarily within your industry? Otherwise that means that Krusty Krab has a monopoly, and therefore I think that is like that would be against technically would be against the law. Oh my god, we are on to something. I think we need to sit down and discuss the current economic state of the fast food industry within Bikini Bottom. I have not thought about SpongeBob in this capacity in literally any context before in my fucking life. Dog, what goes on? I don't even know. I'm just as lost as you are. Trust me on that one. Big things are happening. Oh my god. Maybe it will be like, you know how Stardew has like Joja Mart? Eventually there's gonna be like a fast food conglomerate that buys out the rest of them. What if in the event that all anti-competitive laws just disappear? You know what I mean? What if at some point in time Mr. Krabs would then proceed to be able to start his own fast food enterprise conglomerate where he starts buying out every other restaurant business within the food industry? Do you think Mr. Krabs is lobbying in Bikini Bottom politics? I think he is like the sole, like I think Mr. Krabs would be vehemently against, he would be very outspoken against the fucking Federal Trade Commission. You know what I mean? I think he would be actively campaigning against the FTC in order for him to have more for him to have so much more access to anti-competitive practices. Why do you think Pearl literally gets whatever she wants? It's so true. It's so true. I think he has the potential to retire at any given moment, but actively chooses not to, because he is also solely in the food industry for the love of the fucking game. And by love of the fucking game, I mean for the love of the money. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with any of this at this point. I'm gonna be so fucking real. SpongeBob is a metaphor for capitalism. Whoa, dude. I think we're onto something. I can see Plankton more. He's just on the grind to destroy Krusty Krab. Technically, yeah. Technically, yes. He was also just solely in it for his own sake.